What's going on, guys? It's Cimoooooooo. So today we're posing the question, should you buy the 2018 Megatins? I was going to hold off on making this video because I felt like I said everything I had wanted to on the Megatins in my spoiler video, which you can check out here. But then today we got information on the pull ratios, and I quickly changed my mind and decided to make this video because this is very, very crucial on your decision as to whether or not you want to buy. But before we get into it, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patrons as always. So big shouts today to Dakota and to No Regards Gaming for upping their pledge. You guys are the reason that this channel is growing strong. And if you guys want to help support me in the channel through Patreon or through a YouTube channel membership, hit the join button down below or check out the links in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So there's going to be a lot of math in this video, and I'm going to do my best to break it down as best I can, just so you guys can follow along rather easily and know exactly what you're getting into. So the way the Megatins are structured is that one Megatin contains 3 packs of cards, and each one of these packs has a super rare, a rare, an ultra rare, and a secret rare, and then a bunch of commons. So you're getting 3 cards of each higher rarity per tin. Now, a case or something that your local game store would order in volumes of for these Megatins comes with 12 Megatins. So one case equals 12 Megatins. The data I'm going to be citing in this video, which you can also check out in the description, I'll have it linked to the original Facebook post, is going to be citing 75 cases. So that equates to 900 Megatins. Now, in the grand scheme of all the Megatins being released, it might not seem like a lot, but this is a very decent sample size to be able to deduce some information and see just what we're working with. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. When you consider these numbers, I'm going to be showing you guys the numbers of the pull ratios of how many copies of a card were pulled in the secret rares as well as the ultra rares. So since there were 75 cases opened, if there were, let's say, 75 copies of a card pulled, that means that one case has 1 copy of that card. If you up it up to 150 copies of that card, 150 divided by 75 equals 2, so that means you got 2 copies of that card per case. So just so you guys have an idea when you see these numbers, what you're going to be looking for. So here's the first batch of the secret rares, and I have it divided into 2 different batches because first of all, there's a lot of secret rares, but second of all, I want to start off with this. Now, the thing you have to realize is with these Megatins is that they've changed drastically from the Megatins of years past, because previously the Megatins only had 15 secret rares in them. This year they have 24, about a 50% increase. Now, that may sound like a good thing, more secret rares, more good cards, but in reality it's actually the opposite, because that means they're able to pump more bulky secret rares or secret rares that don't have nearly as high of a demand to artificially lower the chance of you getting a good secret rare in this set. So just keep that in mind, but here are those numbers, and you can start to see that these are numbers that basically equate to about 1.7 to 1.9 copies per case. So that means if you kind of put it down to per tin, you're going to be getting about 1 of these per 6 tins. So if you were to buy 6 tins, on average, you're going to receive 1 copy of each of these cards. Now, when you look at these cards, these are the cards that are not exactly what people are looking for here. I mean, these are cards like what? Vendread Origin having the highest pull ratio here, a card that absolutely no one really wants. Not even the Vendread players want it because it's not even really that good. You've got stuff like Squib Draw, you've got Pendulum Paradox, Quick Launch, Zark, cards that really just aren't in high demand. Now, I will be fair, there are a couple good secret rares in here. Mech Knight Blue Sky, Mech Knight Purple Nightfall, Mythical Beast Master Servers for the Pendulum players, and I guess to be fair, Ningirsu is a pretty good one as well for anyone looking to just kind of have a good removal option in their extra deck. But realistically, for these being the most pulled secret rares in the tins, these are the cards that people are not exactly chasing after. These are the cards that people are chasing after, and when you see in comparison to the first batch of those secret rares, the pull ratios on these are much lower. On average from the data here, you're going to be getting about 1.1 to 1.3 copies of each of these cards per case. Now, rounding that down, that's a 1 in 12 chance. So if you were to buy an entire case of these Megatins, you're probably only going to get one copy of each card on this list. Now, it is possible to pull multiples of these cards, don't get me wrong, there's definitely going to be situations where that happens, but going solely from this data here, which again, this is a pretty decent sample size, you're only going to be getting one of each of these in a case, which means about 1 in 12. That is horrifically low by comparison. And I think what just frustrates me the most about seeing this is that it's all the good cards. It's all the cards that people wanted out of these tins. You know, Borlo Dragon, Firewall Dragon, Saryuja, Heavy Metal Foes, Electromite. You've got Dragonic Diagram. What else? Inspector Border, Topologic Bomber Dragon. Pretty much every card on this list is what people were chasing, and they basically short printed it. So not only was it not enough for them to artificially inflate the number of secret rares into tins to naturally bring down the percentage of you getting a good secret rare in the first place, but then they had to also short print the good secret rares in addition to that to lower the chance of you getting a good secret rare even more. So I guess that's just really annoying to me that they're basically just making it as skewed against the consumer as possible to get one of the cards that they might be chasing after, but I guess that's Konami, so what can you really do? So why does this matter? Well, in the context of the chase cards, I would say Evenly Matched is probably the most desired card out of the Megatins because it was super expensive, it was really hard to get, a lot of people want it because it can pretty much be played in any deck, and Borlo Dragon's probably a close second, but you need 3 copies of Evenly Matched in a best case scenario, and you realistically only need 1 Borlo Dragon, giving Evenly Matched a higher demand. So let's say your local game store just purchases 1 case of these Megatins, and you go with your friend buys the very first Megatin, and he pulls an Evenly Matched. Well, that's great for your friend, but basically that entire case is probably destined to not have a single other copy of Evenly Matched because going by these ratios, it's not going to be in their favor. So again, it's just skewing the odds against the consumer, and I really just don't like that, especially for cards that people are really excited about to get in these tins. Another way you can go about figuring out the specific probability of acquiring a single card out of one single tin is by taking the number of the cards I've listed here and dividing that number by 900, the amount of tins that were open, and that's going to give you a percentage. So again, sticking with Evenly Matched had 88 copies. If you divide that by 900, you're going to get about 9.77. Let's round up and say 9.8%. So here's the question you guys really have to ask yourself. Do you guys want to spend $20 on a Megatin for a 9.8% chance to get an Evenly Matched, or do you want to take that 20 bucks, buy an Evenly Matched online, and have a 100% chance to get a copy of Evenly Matched? I think the answer speaks for itself. And you know, there's gonna be that person that pulls a Saryuja and an Evenly Matched and a Borlo Dragon in the same tin. It's going to happen, but that's what we call an anomaly. That is not going to nearly represent the average consumer purchasing one of these tins and what their pull rates are going to look like. And when you see one of those on YouTube, you might go nuts and think it's amazing, but again, that's just an anomaly, and it's something you definitely need to be aware of. Wrapping up this video though, I will show the ultra rares as well. The ultra rares are a little bit more generous, but the ratios are still kind of bad for some of them. Looking though, there's some pretty good ultra rares in here. I mean, all the Altergeist cards are about 1.75 to 2.5 per case, so you can expect to see those with a little little bit more frequency. Same thing goes for stuff for like Trickstar Candina, Majesty Maiden, some pretty good ultra rares in that category. But then there are going to be the short printed ones too. Spellbook of Knowledge is probably the most hyped ultra rare because it was very expensive before this reprint, and again, it's looking like it's only going to be one per case. So if you're looking for that, or even something like True Draco Heritage, do keep that in mind that the ratios are much lower for some of the better ultra rares. Wrapping up this video, I'm not going to tell you guys how to spend your money. If you guys are pack opening fiends and you just love cracking opening packs, getting these tins just because of the excitement of it or the fun of it, that's perfectly fine. But I know some of you guys were thinking about getting these tins because there are highly desired reprints in here. There are really good cards in here, especially if maybe you're more of a casual player looking to become more competitive. There's some really good cards in these tins, so I'm hoping just by showing you that the odds are skewed against you, you might make the conscious decision to buy singles instead, like I always recommend, because it's much more cost effective to do so, and it's going to save you so much more money in the long run. Look at the 2017 Megatin prices now. I think the most expensive card out of those tins is like $7.50, and granted, a year has gone by and those cards might not be nearly as viable anymore, but it just goes to show that those prices are going to drop, and even if you wait just a couple weeks or a month, you might be able to get the cards you want for just a fraction of the price if you are spending that money on purchasing Megatins. But guys, those are just my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about these Megatins. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like the video as always. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content. And if I helped you save money by watching this video, consider backing me on Patreon or becoming a YouTube channel member. Because just by showing your support for the channel, you're investing in my ability to continue bringing you amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content. So thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.